I think the first thing is for us to know what does it take to be, a standard quality training institute.
Enugu gears up towards hosting ECOWAS trade liberalization scheme. And correspondent takes a look at what removal of Nigeria from financial action tax forces great lists means to current administration. Hello, thank you for joining us on the news tonight. Hi, I'm Charles Alpha. The Economic Community of West African States Trade Liberalization Scheme workshop is scheduled to take place in southern parts of the country. A statement from the Office of the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs indicates that the workshop aims to provide the business community, especially entrepreneurs and MSMEs, with practical knowledge on leveraging the scheme to expand their operations across the West Africa. Signed by the media aide to State Minister Eze Magnus, states that participants are expected to gain insight into the certification process, documentation requirements, and trade facilitation mechanisms. The workshop will commence Tuesday, 28th October in Enugu. And ahead of COP30 in Brazil, the federal government is partnering stakeholders across the country to evolve acceptable data mapping mechanism towards reducing methane emissions in Nigeria by 2030. This move is spearheaded by the Office of the Special Assistant to the President on Climate Matters in conjunction with Sustainable Research and Action for Environmental Project. Tape Halabi reports.
Nigeria generates about 32 million tons of methane-emitting solid waste annually and about 0.51 to 0.65 kilogram per person per day, with 107 million tons projections by 2050. As a signatory to the Global Methane Pledge, Nigeria is committed to a 30% reduction in methane emissions by 2030. This inclusive stakeholders workshop highlights solid waste as an under-addressed source of methane, a coated greenhouse gas with a global warming potential 80 times more than that of carbon dioxide over a 20-year period.
This event is designed to build upon those efforts by advancing coordination among key national stakeholders,
reducing methane in landfills through improved waste segregation from the source. Biogas systems and composting can create green jobs.
These concepts fit very well with the mandate to protect human health.
We have put undue focus on carbon dioxide. We forget that methane, CH4, is one of the culprits.
Office of the Special Assistant to the President on Climate Matters with Sustainable Research and Action for Environmental Development, STRADEV, are collaborating to develop a national action plan and data-driven strategies through a project tagged Multi-Solving Action to Methane Reduction in Nigeria, with focus on cities like Lagos, Abuja, Jos, and Benin.
We want a situation whereby we have data sharing amongst the policymakers, the MDAs, as well as from the subnationals. So now we're looking at methane, and we need people to understand the very dangerous aspect of methane and why we need to do something about it.
There's a gap in the NDC 3.0 where every other component that mitigates climate change has been incorporated. The solid waste sector contribution has not been captured in terms of lowering methane. So this is just to catalyze a first national action towards the process.
Methane reductions is a low-hanging fruit. You cannot measure what you cannot control, and you cannot control what you cannot measure, so it's vice versa. We need to know exactly how much methane there is.
Prioritizing methane emission reduction is crucial to this conversation, and mapping of climate actors will help in designing evidence-based interventions. In Abuja, Tope Alabi, NTA News.
Nigeria has accepted to host the maiden meetings of the African bloc of the National Committee of International Press Institute. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, gave the indication during a meeting at the weekend in Vienna, Austria, with the chairman of the IPI Executive Board, Martin Jedley, the IPI Executive Director, Scott Griffin, and IPI Executive Board member representing Nigeria and Africa, Rahim Adedoyin. A statement by the Minister's Special Assistant on Media said the IPI Board had approved the creation of the regional block of national committees as a means of dealing with specific regional interests within the global IPI community. Although no date has been fixed for the meeting, Griffin disclosed that the IPI Secretariat in Vienna will work out the details with Adedoyin and the IPI Nigeria National Committee. Nigeria's removal from the Financial Action Tax Forces greatly reflects its dedication to combating corruption and illicit financial crimes activities. What does this achievement mean for Nigeria, and what is the significance of the Great List? Musa Babaliyu takes a look.
The grey list, officially termed jurisdictions under increased monitoring, is maintained by the Financial Action Task Force, FATF, an intergovernmental body that establishes global standards to combat money laundering, terrorist financing, and the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction. Countries are added to the green list when identified as having weaknesses in their anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing frameworks. Nigeria was placed on the FATF grey list on February 24, 2023, following a mutual evaluation and revealed deficiencies in areas such as transparency of beneficial ownership, oversight of non-financial sectors like real estate and legal services, and the effectiveness of law enforcement in prosecuting money laundering and terrorist financing cases. The current administration committed to an action plan to address these issues, leading to Nigeria's removal from the list on October 24, 2025.
A record of 4 countries have been removed from the grey list. The countries are Burkina Faso, Mozambique, Nigeria, and South Africa. Some of the actions taken by these jurisdictions include: Nigeria now has a stronger interagency coordination. Mozambique has improved financial intelligence sharing. And Burkina Faso has enhanced financial oversight of financial institutions and gatekeepers.
The Global Watchdog Agency noted that Nigeria demonstrated significant progress through reforms, including enhanced interagency coordination and improved financial intelligence sharing.
These transformations will help better protect communities that are harmed by crime and corruption, those living in fear of terrorist attacks, families with life savings drained by fraud and cybercrime.
The country's Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has recovered more than 566.3 billion naira illicit funds and more than 1,500 properties acquired through fraudulent means in the last 2 years in the country. Nigeria's exit from the grey list after approximately 2 years and 8 months is expected to boost investor confidence and facilitate smoother cross-border financial transactions. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The federal government and development partners have intensified efforts to strengthen coordination and fast-track the implementation of Nigeria's menstrual health and hygiene management policy framework, aimed at accelerating actions that promote menstrual health for women and girls across the country. The Federal Ministry of Women Affairs, in collaboration with Education as a Vaccine, convened a stakeholders dialogue workshop in Abuja to provide a platform for partners to review progress, identify challenges, and outline strategies for effective policy implementation across all states. Participants at the workshop emphasized that the menstrual health and hygiene management policy represent a major milestone in ensuring that every girl and woman in Nigeria can manage her menstrual health and dignity, safety, and confidence.
towards building an inclusive and sustainable menstrual health ecosystem across Nigeria. So together we will advance menstrual health and hygiene, improve access to education and health care.
And we're going to also focus on legal and regulatory environments that shapes menstrual health and hygiene in Nigeria as well. Also, we're going to be focusing on addressing myths and conceptions, taboos and stigma around menstruation through the access of information for all. And lastly, we're going to ensure that women and girls have equitable access to safe and affordable menstrual products, services, and facilities at all levels.
Let's unite to support policies that prioritize menstrual health, education, and inclusivity.
Momentum continues to build towards the full implementation of Nigeria's menstrual health and hygiene policy framework. Stakeholders reiterated the importance of maintaining focus on equity, dignity, and empowerment for all women and girls. Meanwhile, promoting patriotism and national image through creativity and innovation is one of core drivers of the Rise Up Patriot Conference 2.0. The conference held in Abuja witnessed the unveiling and rebranding Nigeria initiative, and with policymakers, media personalities, and young Nigerians discussing impacts of the creative economy. Suleiman Abdul Wahab reports.
The strength of our people, from Fela to Wole Soyinka. This is what makes us Nigerians. The daily life of a Nigerian is spectacular, from the hustle and bustle of the city life to the daily struggles and triumphs.
Keynote speakers explored how the creative sector can drive positive national transformation. Sections highlighted the potentials of film, media, technology, and content creation to reshape Nigeria's story globally.
Well, first of all, I think our leaders since independence, they've been trying from one vision to the other to push this country to develop, to ensure that the poverty levels in this country goes down.
Of mentality that people have towards this country, they speak ill of their country. I mean, there are a lot of things that are good and things that are bad in this country, and I'm not saying that people should not speak their mind, but what I'm saying is that you cannot mouth down your country and expect good out of it.
Participants were encouraged to champion positive narratives, strengthening collaboration between the public and private sector.
We are known for. We want young Nigerians to rise, especially the creatives, people who are doing amazingly well. And so for us, we are calling out more of our young people to rise up. And so last year we did the launch, and it was the Rise Up Patriots Conference 1.0. This year is the Rise Up Patriots Conference 2.0. And then we believe that we'll be, doing this for the next 20 years and counting.
The rise of patriot movements. The initiative continues to inspire Nigerians, especially the youth, to project national resilience, innovation, and talent to the world. In Abuja, Suleiman Tabu Abdul Wahab, NTA News.
And you're still watching the news at 11 on NTA News24. We'll be back with more reports. Please stay with us.
And the National Productivity Order of Merit Award goes to...
tomato paste manufacturer to win the National Productivity Order of Merit Award by the Federal Government of Nigeria, endorsed by the Association of Private Medical Practitioners of Nigeria. This is an evidence of 100% natural goodness. Eat healthy to live longer. Buy now and enjoy up to 20% discount.
Feel the power of precision, engineered to perfection. Every component is crafted with care, and each design is meticulously tested. From concept to creation, our engineers push the boundaries of technology, seamlessly blending performance and sustainability with a deep commitment to African ingenuity. Introducing the CNG Boss, a remarkable achievement in engineering designed to operate on compressed natural gas, a cleaner and more sustainable fuel alternative. At Innocent Vehicles, we proudly lead the way in creating greener mobility across Africa. And it doesn't stop there. From SUVs to sedans, spacious buses to electric cars, Innocent offers a wide range of models designed to meet every need. Innocent Vehicle, the pride of African roads.
This is NTA News24.
Thank you for staying with us. The Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund has set up a strategic interagency coordination committee in a bid to harness the gains of its ongoing stakeholders consultation and engagement to better reposition the fund. Inaugurating the committee on behalf of the Managing Director and Chief Executive Oluwaseun Faleye in Abuja, the Executive Director Administration, Samaila Abdul, says the core mandate of the committee is to coordinate and advance the fund's transformative agenda through structured follow-ups on stakeholders' visits and engagements. The 9-man committee is chaired by Abdul Latif Musa, General Manager Compliance. The committee's term of reference include documentation of outcomes and decisions from all interagency engagements, development of action plans with timelines and responsibilities, liaising with partner organizations to sustain momentum and track progress, monitoring implementation and evaluation of challenges to executive management, provision of periodic progress reports to the MDs, and evaluation of the impacts of engagement and recommendation of improvements. The governing All Progressives Congress said its attention has been drawn to APC 2025 schedule of nationwide progress and other related activities widely in circulation on social media. In a statement signed by its National Publicity Secretary, Felix Morka, clarified that the purported schedule of activities for Congresses was neither made nor authorized by the party and should be disregarded as fake news. And the National Human Rights Commission has called for stronger collaboration among security agencies, government institutions, and humanitarian actors to protect rights of internally displaced persons, refugees, asylum seekers, and returnees in the Northwest. Fatima Sanusi reports.
The training held under the National Human Rights Commission Project 2025 aims to strengthen human rights and humanitarian responses for displaced populations affected by insurgency, conflict, and environmental challenges. The Executive Secretary represented said the project is currently being implemented across 11 states with human rights monitors and community protection action groups, documenting protection issues and referring cases to relevant agencies for timely action.
The essence of those projects is to get the information to enable programming and need analysis for qualitative intervention to mitigate the challenges that pertain to IDPs.
He emphasized that these challenges go beyond humanitarian needs. They represent violations of fundamental human rights that require coordinated intervention. He urged all partners to identify overlapping efforts, build stronger networks, and maintain a unified approach in protecting the rights and dignity of displaced persons across Nigeria. In Kano, Fatima Sanusi Garai, NTA News.
And you're still watching the news. Let's quickly remind you some of our top stories. Enugu gears towards hosting ECOWAS trade liberalization scheme. A correspondent takes a look at what removal of Nigeria from Financial Action Task Force's grade list means to current administration. Nigeria intensifies efforts to fast-track implementation of menstrual health and hygiene management policy framework.
News24.
And President Bola Tinubu has congratulated Oloye Lekan Alabi, a veteran journalist and public relation guru, on his 75th birthday on October 27, 2025. Oloye Alabi is the Abbess Olubadan of Ibadan Land and cultural ambassador of the National Museum and Monuments of Ile-Ife, Osun State. President Tinubu, in a message, acknowledged Oloye Alabi's distinguished journalism and public relations career and commends his remarkable achievements in both fields. Oloye Alabi began his journalism career at the defunct Sketch newspaper. He later moved over to the Western Nigeria Broadcasting Corporation, which later became the Nigerian Television Authority, Ibadan. He subsequently joined Odua Investment Company Limited as public relations manager. And this is where we end the news. Many thanks for watching. I am Charles Alpha.
Let's have credible elections at the local government so that these credible people can manage the funds of local government properly.
There are a lot of respected traditional rulers in the state who can say, look, enough of this thing. Mr. Governor, welcome. Thank you for coming. When you win, what will you do?
I was the first woman that mobilized women within the local government to form the National Council of Women Society, by creating awareness in women that they must serve, they must be part of what is happening within their community.
If you stop expenditure on infrastructure, how do you now attract investments?
The state governors, the presidency, that the federal government and the local government are all waiting for revenue from crude oil. Every state has something peculiar. So the emphasis now, if your local government has something peculiar to that particular local government, the emphasis should be keep producing that particular product.
We need to do three things. Prevent the ability of the terrorist groups to generate funding, their ability to recruit, and then their ability to access weapons.
The traditional ruler gives me a title. I sit in the front row in the church, or if I'm going to mosque, when I'm calling people are passing in God's own house. What am I doing? I'm mentoring a new generation who think that the only way to be taken seriously is to be seen to have a lot of money.
Northern Nigeria, live every weekday between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. on the network service of the NTA.